How did you choose your career, and what was your favorite part about it?
What was it, honey?
How did you choose your career, and what was your favorite part about it?
My career was having babies, and I loved it. I absolutely loved my kids.
Thought you waited tables for a
Well,
while
that
too.
just said,
Your career.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get into jobs later, but this is just more about career.
Well, me, what I wanted to be, and I used to scare my mom half to death. They asked me, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" And I'd say, "I'm going to be a hobo.
That's
I'm
a
gonna get a stick." And the old days they used to show kids with a stick with the food in the back. I'm gonna be a hobo, and I'm gonna hop trains, and I'm gonna see the world. And my mom used to just say, "God, you were so serious. I was worried that's what you were gonna do." And I was never that lucky. So then I had a paper route when I was in school.
No, that'll be later.
But,
It's fine, whatever. Go.
and I see a squirrel on our fence crawling over there.
His attention.
got my attention there.
Just jump down.
Did it jump down?
Mm-hmm.
It's jumping.
And then other than that, let's see. After when we moved to Gunnison, first thing I started doing there was I was cleaning the mining company and doing that. My dad, so he'd give me a job doing that. So that's what I would do. And then I ended up when I got married, ended up working in the uranium mines and come out here to Salt Lake and
Went to barber school.
went to barber school in '63 and went to cutting hair in '64. But I think one of the best jobs I ever had is when I was going to barber school and I had a delivery route with Dunkford Bakery. And I could eat all the donuts I wanted.
It's like Dumford by our house.
You know, big chocolate donuts. I used to eat about a dozen of those on my route. In fact, and my boss was a little Japanese guy. You know, one day he called me and he said, "Ross," he says, "how many donuts do you eat?" And he says, "You know, we don't mind you eating one or two donuts. But," he says, "I think you eat a whole tray." I says, "Well, I come in, you have to load up, you know, about 3 or 4 times, you know, on my route." And I says, "I'm hungry," so I grab a donut. He just laughed. He never said I couldn't have any, but man, that was a good job. If I was to do that now, I'd weigh about 350 pounds.
Well, I first got my first job when I was 7.5. I delivered papers in Gunnison. Go through snow, I'd get so cold, I'd have everything covered but my eyeballs. And when I'd get home, I was so cold, I'd have to soak my hands in cold water first or they'd burn. And then I went to work when I was 14 in the kitchen of a restaurant. I had a neighbor, she owned the restaurant, and I bugged her every day. When can I go to work?
Those trees.
And then got married and waitressed some more, and then I chose waitressing because I could choose my own hours and I could be home with the kids. There goes your squirrel.
Yeah.
And then I went to trade school for a year.
It was meant to be for us to get married because when she was that young and delivering papers, me and my family, we lived 10 miles out of town. My dad always wanted to see what it would be like to live out by a river and that, so that's what we did for 1 year. But she was our newspaper gal, and she would deliver the paper to us out there all the time. So see, it was.
And your mom had a pink washer and dryer.
Yep, pink washer and dryer. Did she leave you what, 10 cents for a tip or something?
No tip.
Oh, I thought she did.
No.
Well, a tightwad.
How would you deliver the papers that far away?
That would take her.
They took it only Sunday, and my dad would drive the pickup. That's when we finally got a truck. And go to the different ranches out of town.
Yeah, so see.
Tell them about the mines.
About the mines?
Mm-hmm.
Working in the mines?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to know about working in the mines?
Anything.
Some of the stunts I pulled?
Sure.
There was one thing in there talking about the most embarrassing things, I think is one of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I got two of them. That was most embarrassing for me. And one of them was, we had an old truck that we would take under the bends and load them up, and then drive them up, maybe a quarter of a mile, and then we'd stockpile it. And we'd go around and around this road and build like a mountain. And we'd get clear to the top, and you'd have to dump your load, and then you start following the road all the way down until it was all full. And then they go with a grader and grade it, and make another road to the top, and you just start from the top again. And gosh, I got to where I was really good with it, and went to work one day, and they said, "Hey, you got a new truck to drive." Boy, and it was a brand new International. Oh, it was a big, beautiful truck. And when you dump it and the bed goes up, it had 3 telescope things on it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, oh man, that was so nice riding that. And this one time, after about a week of driving it, and brand new truck, I take it, first load up on the hill. I get up on the very top, back right over to the edge, and I'm up there quite a ways. And I'm letting the truck, I'm gonna empty it, and I forgot to open the tailgate, so the ore would go out, and it's going up and going up and going up, and all at once, the whole front end, because it couldn't get out, the whole front of the truck went up in the air, and I went backwards down that mountain, down that ore. Oh, I knew it was just gonna flip over. We got down to the bottom, and the bed was all leaning off to the side. And the top of the telescope was just bent, man. Oh.
I like
And
your other story better.
I wanted to just get in my car and go home. And they razzed me forever about doing that. How in the heck I could do that. And then it wasn't too long from then, one of the other guys who was an adult, he backed his truck and it rolled. Lucky it didn't kill him. He rolled clear down. This was another part of the mine, and he rolled 150 feet down a mountain, but he fell out. He was
His
doing
dad
the same
quit school
thing.
8th grade, went through 8th grade, was it?
Who?
Your dad. And then he went to work in the mines at that age. So
He was 12 years old when he worked in the
I like
mines.
your other story on the mines.
Well,
Embarrassing moments.
and then another time, we had these big fire extinguishers about this high. We had about 30 of them. We had three different mines. And one time, the boss, he comes over to me and he says, "Ross," he says, "do you know how to check the fire extinguishers?" I said, "Sure." He says, "Well, good." He says, "Here's where all the locations are," and he had them all marked. He says, "Go check them out, and when you find it, just hit the check mark, okay, that it's working." I didn't know. I figured, well, all you gotta do is try it and see if it works. So the first one I went and got it, pulled it out of the thing, out of the case, grabbed a hold of it, squeezed the handle, and all this, it wasn't foam, it was like talking powder, baby powder or something, just come flying out, made all this white stuff, and I shut it off. I said, well, it works good. Hung it back up. Well, after I did about 15 of them, I guess somebody saw all this that I was squirting, and he told the boss, and they come, I was just getting ready to squeeze another one, and the guy, he's yelling, Ross, don't squeeze that handle. And comes over to me, and he says, "What in the world are you doing?" I said, I'm checking these. He says, "Well, you don't squeeze the nozzle." He says, "That breaks the seal." He says, "It costs $20 or something back in those days to refill those." I said, "Well, I only give it a little squirt." He said, "That doesn't matter. You broke the seal." And I says, "Oh, well, I thought That's how you checked them.
Oops.
So that was another embarrassing thing I could have hid from.
I still like the one where your outfit.
Oh, yeah. One time cold, we had outdoor toilets. Well, I didn't want to use it. I mean, it was 30 below zero. And those miners, we would have coveralls that you want to go to the bathroom, you had to pull your coveralls down. Well, this one time I didn't want to use that outdoor toilet because they weren't the cleanest. So I was going to do it in the mine. I figured, well, it'll all be covered up anyway. And I'm sitting there and trying to go to the bathroom and all that. And you know how you're sitting down, your clothes are pulled behind you. Well, I didn't watch what I was doing, and when I went to the bathroom, it landed right in the cuff of
When he flipped it up.
my overalls. It landed in there, and I didn't know it. So when I'm all done, I put my arms in myself, and I went like this to put my coveralls back on, and splat right in the back of my neck. Oh, God, what am I done? And I had to go in and take all my clothes off and take a shower in the shower room.
Nasty, yeah.
And the worst part of it was there's like 3 young guys that were college students that were geologists, and they're right there working. And when I come in, they asked me what had happened, and they said, "Hey, you don't smell very good." And I had to tell them what I did. They laughed. They thought that was so funny. And before it was over with, I think every miner, and we had about 60 miners back in those times, everybody said, "Hey, been using your clothes for an outhouse," or something like that, they'd say.
How long did you end up working in the mines for?
2.5 years.
Okay.
Actually longer.
I thought it was longer,
2.5
yeah.
years underground.
Yeah.
But I'd work, summer jobs
Then we
too.
moved to France.
Yeah. Well, that was counting grants, because that was
Oh.
a year underground there too.
That's why you guys moved to Grants, New Mexico?
Yeah.
They closed up the mine in Gunnison, and they were going to open another one in Grants, New Mexico, so we decided just to follow it down there. And
That's why, okay.
Yeah, I was making good money, so I thought, well, we'll just go to Grants, New Mexico. But boy, it
and his
was
mom and dad lived there, so
one terrible place to live. Jeez.
Mm.
Didn't have grass, nothing. It was just, all it
would
was
have-
was beer joints and what do you call it? Gas stations. And
How long did you live there?
1 year.
No, that wasn't
Oh,
long.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
miserable, and when the wind would blow, I'd have to go out my back door to my front door and sweep the dust away so I could get the door open. It was
We went to
Oh,
Albuquerque about every
miserable.
Sunday just to see what grass looked like. That was about 60 miles away.
It was miserable. I complained every single
Ugh.
day.